The last light on Willow Street. The sky was painted with golden orange, the kind of sunset that made even the tired and broken believe, just for a moment, that things could be beautiful again. On Willow Street stood an old bookstore named The Last Light. It wasn't the biggest, nor the fanciest. In fact, it was barely holding together. The windows were smudged, the shelves creaked when touched, and a small wooden bell above the door sounded like a whisper more than a chime. But for many in the neighborhood, it was home. Behind the counter stood 62-year-old Samuel Hayes, a man of few words but infinite stories. He wasn't just a bookseller. He was a keeper of memories, a quiet companion for the lonely, and a lighthouse for the lost. Sam had inherited the store from his father, who opened it in 1957. Generations had passed through its doors. Children who grew up on fairy tales now brought their own kids in for story hour on Saturdays. But times had changed. People didn't buy books the way they used to. With online stores and digital devices, foot traffic dwindled. Big retailers opened nearby, offering discounts Sam couldn't afford. For the last 3 years, he'd barely made enough to pay the electricity. Now, with 3 months of unpaid rent, Sam knew the end was near. Still, he kept the store open. Each morning, he unlocked the doors, wiped the dust off the shelves, brewed a pot of strong coffee, and waited. Some days, no one came. Other days, he might sell 1 or 2 books, enough to buy dinner and maybe a second-hand coat for winter. But something deep inside told Sam, you don't quit on what you love. Not until it quits on you. Chapter 1, The Girl with the Yellow Backpack. It was a rainy Tuesday when she came in. She looked no older than 14, soaked from head to toe, her yellow backpack dripping water on the wooden floor. Sam looked up from his newspaper and gave a soft nod. Can I help you? She didn't answer. Just stared at the shelves like she'd entered another universe. Finally, after a moment, she whispered, do you have anything about stars? Sam raised an eyebrow. Astronomy? No. I mean, stories. About stars. About people chasing them. He walked over to a corner of the store and pulled out a dusty blue book titled, The Starlight Promise, by a forgotten author. This one's been waiting a long time to be read. She clutched it to her chest like a treasure. I don't have money. Sam shrugged. Some books choose their readers. This one chose you. She looked up at him with tear-filled eyes. Thank you. He smiled. Come back when you're dry. We've got coffee. And cookies on Wednesdays. She did come back. Every day after school, rain or shine, she'd sit by the window and read. Her name was Maya. Her mother was battling addiction. Her father had left when she was 6. School was a battlefield, and her heart was a war zone. But in the last light, she found peace. Sam never pried. He just gave her space, stories, and silence when she needed it. Over time, she opened up. Told him about her dreams, about becoming a writer, about going to college, about leaving behind the pain. You will, he said one day. Just don't let the world tell you what you're worth. You decide that. Chapter 2, The Runner with the Broken Leg. Then came Marcus. A former marathoner turned mailman, he had a smile that could light up any room, until a drunk driver shattered his left leg. After surgery and a long rehab, Marcus couldn't run, couldn't walk without a limp, and most painfully, couldn't deliver mail. He came into the store one afternoon, mostly out of boredom. Looking for anything? Sam asked. Nope. Just avoiding myself. Sam handed him a novel about endurance athletes climbing Everest. Marcus chuckled. You trying to mock me, old man? Trying to remind you that the mountain's still there. Whether you climb or not, that's your call. Marcus stayed. First an hour. Then a day. Then every day. He began organizing books, fixing shelves, even running a Saturday reading club for local kids. The limp didn't go away, but his light returned. Chapter 3, The Final Letter. 3 months passed. Rent was overdue. The landlord was patient, but patience had a deadline. Sam received the final notice on a cold January morning. He stared at it in silence. Then he took out his father's old typewriter and wrote one last letter to the store. Dear Last Light. You have been more than wood and brick and shelves. You have been a sanctuary. You have given me purpose. And though the world has changed, and my time may be done, your light still shines in them, in Maya, in Marcus, in every soul you've touched. Thank you for holding me up when I was falling. Love. Sam. He folded the letter, tucked it into a copy of To Kill a Mockingbird, and placed it on the local favorites shelf. Then he turned off the lights and went home. Chapter 4, The Light Refuses to Die. The next morning, Sam came to turn in the keys. But something was wrong. There was a line outside. Dozens of people stood in the cold, holding books, candles, thank you letters, and signs that read, Save the Last Light. Maya had written a blog post titled, The Place That Saved My Life. Marcus had shared it. Then others began writing, former customers, students, teachers, single moms, veterans. Stories poured in, about how the store helped them grieve, find faith, heal, laugh, fall in love. Within 48 hours, a GoFundMe campaign raised enough to pay off the back rent, and then some. A local newspaper picked up the story. Then a national one. Soon, reporters were calling. A documentary filmmaker even showed up. Sam stood there in awe, tears in his eyes, whispering to no one in particular, I thought I was the last light. But you all are the light now. Epilogue, 5 years later. Maya went to college. She's now a published author. Her first book is dedicated to Sam. Marcus became the full-time manager of the bookstore, now renovated but still humble. He doesn't limp anymore, well, not much. And Sam? He still comes in every morning at 6 a.m. makes the coffee. Turns on the little wooden bell above the door. Sits behind the counter and listens. They renamed the store, The Last Light on Willow Street. Because sometimes, the world does go dark. But if you hold on long enough, if you stay true to what you love, the light doesn't die, it multiplies. Thanks for listening. Like the video and subscribe my channel.